And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Indiana Tech here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is Warrior Athletic Field, and this broadcast of Huntington soccer here from Warrior Athletic Field. Huntington playing the first round of the Crossroads League tournament, taking on their rivals from Indiana Wesleyan. I'm Thad Goff, bringing you the broadcast. Connor Hendrickson is on camera. Huntington comes into this game at 9-6-3 overall. Indiana Wesleyan comes in at 10-5-2 overall on the season, and the two teams have already played each other in the regular season. Of course, this is quite the rivalry in the Crossroads League, as the two teams tied each other 1-1 in the regular season. I don't think they were able to play last year because of COVID, but they were able to play this year, and again, that game ended in a tie, but there will be no ties today, as somebody is going to have to go home. Somebody's going to have to walk away from this game as the winner, and the other team will go home, and their season will be over. Huntington is the host for this particular game, but even though we are at Indiana Tech, the reason was because the field took a lot of beating from the rain over at Huntington. They play on a grass field over there, and here at Indiana Tech they play on artificial turf. So the surface a little bit more suitable to take the pounding from the rain that we've gotten. Didn't get much of it this week, but in weeks prior we definitely got some effect of the rain in recent weeks. Both coaches have their share of experience, particularly Russ Lawson, the head coach at Huntington. Now for Matt Reeb, the head coach at Indiana Wesleyan, this is his second year as head coach. He does have experience as a head coach at Murray State College, coached there for 3 years, was also a high school head coach. He coached at Jabalt Catholic High School from 2011 to 2017, and in his time there, he won 7 regional championships. So Coach Reeb has had a very successful career at Indiana Wesleyan. And for Russ Lawson, this is his 22nd season as the head coach at Huntington. He's also the director of sports facilities at HU, and he is a Huntington alum, graduated from there in 1991. Last 5 years, Huntington's averaged 10 wins a year. Back in 2019, they went 15-5-3 and won their second and earned a second straight trip to the NAIA National Tournament, and also won the Crossroads League championship. Lawson was part of the 1989 team that went 14-6, and as a junior went 20-5 in the 1999 soccer season. That was back when the Crossroads League was known as the Mid-Central College Conference. And I believe we're about to have we'll have the national anthem here in just a matter of moments before we get started. First, they'll introduce the starting lineups. And then once they do introduce the starting lineups, we will get this game started for you as Huntington takes on Indiana Wesleyan.
tournament quarterfinal contest. Huntington University welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to today's contest. As a member of the NAIA and the Crossroads League, we are committed to the true spirit of competition as champions of character, embracing 5 core values: respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask each of you as a participant, official, or spectator to abide by these values by creating a positive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. We also ask you to adhere to NAIA policy and refrain from the use of profanity while taking part in this afternoon's contest. Please enjoy today's contest. Now for the starting lineup. First for Indiana Wesleyan. Starting in goal, number 1, Aaron Carr. Number 4, Aaron Chu. Number 5, Nico Ricardo. Number 7, Giuseppe Scatabelli. Number 8, Malik Ibrahim. Number 9, Philip Bussler. Number 10, Zach Hargrave. Number 12, Kyle Reinhardt. Number 13, Ewan Stevens. Number 14, Winter Cassie. And number 17, Jonas Beccari. We're also coached by Matt Lee. And now for your Huntington University All-Stars. Starting in goal, number 1, Dave Greenfield. Number 8, Noah Stanford. Number 11, Usman Gil Ivan. Number 12, Eric Oka. Number 15, Jonas Muselman. Number 16, Cooper Fashu. Number 20, Pablo Garcia. Number 23, James Lighton. Number 24, Zach Collins. Number 25, Keegan Lee. And number 26, Igor Barbieri. The Foresters are coached by Russ Lawson. The officials for this afternoon's match are Eduardo Nieto, Todd Miracle, and Dave Spradlin. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand if you are able, bow your heads and remove your hats, and remain silent as we pray. Please remain standing after the prayer and honor America as we play our national anthem. Lord, we thank you so much for this opportunity to gather and play and watch the best game in the world. Thank you for safe travels. We thank you for this beautiful fall day, and we thank you so much for competition. We invite your presence to the field this afternoon. We pray for safety, we pray for wisdom and sportsmanship. Thank you for all that we've been given. In your name we pray. Amen.
Well, Huntington about to take the field. They kind of have taken the field as they get set to take on Indiana Wesleyan. This will be the second matchup of the season between both Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan, with the first game ending in a tie. Back in the regular season, 1-1 was the final score of that particular game. But they've had the anthem, they've had the pregame prayer, and we are just about ready. Mentioned that Gabe Greenfield, I believe, will be the starting goalie for Huntington for today. Huntington is the third seed in the Crossroads League tournament, with Indiana Wesleyan as the sixth seed. It's going to be Indiana Wesleyan who gets the kick early on. Philip Balsara, the senior from Graz, Austria, and a transfer from Rhode Island University, will put it in play for the Wildcats. And he does get it in play, and the Wildcats will look to push it down the field. Wildcats wearing the red, Huntington Foresters wearing the green jerseys. I believe that's Gavin Farron plays for Huntington. That was Yuto Nakame, who had the ball briefly there for Indiana Wesleyan. And they now push the ball across midfield. And this will be a throw-in for the Wildcats. A throw-in for the Foresters. It'll go the other way. Header just short of the box by Kyle Reinhardt. That was Pablo Garcia who tries to clear it up the field. And a short pass there by Cooper Fasci. Gets it up to Ivor Newsey. Huntington gets it across midfield, trying to get it to James Lighton. And now Indiana Wesleyan will control in the opposite direction. That's McLean Hastings. Now Zach Hargreaves sends it to the far side of the field. I think he was looking for, check that, Aaron Carr's the goalie for Indiana Wesleyan, but back to Hargreaves. Long kick to the opposite end of the box, looking for Yuto Nakame. Nakame with the cross right in front of the goal, the header, and then that's redirected again, but Huntington's going to clear it out. Nice diving save there by the Huntington goalie. I believe that's Gabe Greenfield who's in goal for Huntington, and it is. But it is going to be a throw-in for Indiana Wesleyan. Send it back to Stevens, Ewan Stevens. And this one goes out of bounds. No, not quite. Now it does go out of bounds, and I think it's going to be a throw-in. Nope, it's going to be a corner kick. It went out before it was cleared out of bounds by Huntington. Went out on the end line, that is. So a corner kick for Indiana Wesleyan, and they've got a chance to crack the scoreboard here in the early going. The header cleared out nicely by James Lighton. They get the pass over to that's Garrett Troop right in front of the box, and then Lighton knocks another one out. That'll be another corner kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Right in front of the net. Headed out, I think that was Fasci who got up to get it. Pushing the other way, Noah Stanford, and whistles will blow. And I think they called a foul against Indiana Wesleyan, so Huntington will get the kick. It's sent it across midfield, and that's going out of bounds, and it looks like we will get a throw-in for Indiana Wesleyan. Move to the inside by Yuto Nakame. That one's redirected off the foot. Looked like the foot of Noah Stanford. And this will be a throw-in for Indiana Wesleyan. High throw-in, a header right off the throw-in. And Wesleyan looks to control. They get the ball back to Eric O'Cook from Warsaw, Indiana. That's about an hour away, an hour to the west, in fact, of where we are here in Fort Wayne. Pushing down the field, I believe that was Tim Slasarczyk. And now Huntington clears it, or Wesleyan clears it back the other way. Now Sanford chases down the ball. Header back the other way from Gavin Farron. And this one looks like it's going out of bounds, and it is, as Cooper Foschi gets ready to throw it in. Wesleyan still able to control early on. So we've got 39 minutes and 20 seconds. That's cleared out, and a throw-in coming up for Indiana Wesleyan as they once again have pushed this ball all the way toward the box. Indiana Wesleyan looks to be in control early on. Just over 6 minutes into the game. We are in the 7th minute here at Warrior Athletic Field, and there's a trip called. And I think that was Foschi who's going after it. He comes up a little bit gimpy, but he is on his feet. And that trip will result in a free kick, it looks like, for Huntington. James Lighton, the senior from Southend, England, will put it in play. Here's Stanford. Slows it down, sends it back. Gets it to Jonas Musselman. And there's a takeaway. Nice defensive play there by Zach Hargreaves. Hargreaves with a defender right on him. That's Zach Collins, the freshman from Spencerville, Indiana, who was on him, and this will be a throw-in for the Foresters. And there's a trip on the other side of the field. That's going to go against Indiana Wesleyan, and Huntington will get the possession. James Lighton will put it in play for the Foresters. Lighton sends it into the box. Here's a chance for Huntington. Reaching up in the air and then getting the save is Aaron Carr, the goalie. And Carr flips it out of the box to Jonas Bakari. Bakari pushing down the field. He's got Igor Barbieri right on him. There's a takeaway from behind by Giuseppe Santacroce. And the Foresters look to go the other way. They had really their first good scoring chance of this game just moments ago. And now they might be about to have another one, but instead it's a takeaway for Iwu. And that's going to be offsides as number 9, Philip Basara, got a little too far up the field. Back to Gabe Greenfield. Foresters looking to push down the field. Ball is out of bounds. Throw in to the Foresters. And a quick throw in. They get that one, looked like to Nathan Lemon. Sent to the near side to Nakame. Nakame not able to get it across midfield, but Wesleyan still with control of the ball as that's Jonas Bakari who gets it back to Nakame. And whistles will blow. This will be a free kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Sent backwards to Ewan Stevens. Long kick by Hargreaves and snagged out of the air by Gabe Greenfield. And Greenfield just flings that one out of the box. That's just off the foot of Noah Stanford. Eric O'Cook going for the takeaway. Backwards pass by Santa Cruz. That pass goes off the foot of Basara. Going for the takeaway was Winter Cassius. And now we have a Wildcat go down. No whistle. Into the box. Here's a chance for the Wildcats, but that's cleared out. And I don't quite think that made the end line. Cooper Foshi knocked it out, and it will be a throw-in for the Wildcats as Nakame puts it in play. There's a takeaway from behind. I believe that was Pablo Garcia with the takeaway. That's out of bounds, and they're going to say it was last touched by Ewan Stevens. Apparently did not go off the foot of Zach Collins. So Foshi will put it in play. He gets it to Collins. Foshi with a defender right on him. He works his way backwards. And that's going to be taken away in the end. I initially thought that was 24. It's 14, Winter Cassius. Number 24 is Wes Southerly, and he's not available for this game. As Garrett Troop sends the ball forward. This one will go out of bounds, and a corner kick coming up for Wesleyan. It was Giuseppe Santa Cruz who was in the area, and he'll be the one to put it in play on the corner kick. Check that. It's not Giuseppe Santa Cruz. He set it down. Couldn't tell who it was that did put it in play in the end, but there is Santa Cruz going after the ball. And a throw-in coming up for Wesleyan. Long pass over to the near side for Nakame, and Nakame sends that one back to Ewan Stevens. Stevens with the boot into the box, but Greenfield is the only one there. Well, we are now in the 12th minute as Huntington has not had a lot of scoring opportunities, but looking to get one here. A short pass over to Noah Stanford. That's a long pass over to Cooper Foshee. And Foshee sends it to the middle of the field for Collins. Check that, Pablo Garcia. Here's Foshee on the push. Foshee has it taken away from behind. They get it across midfield to Bakari, Jonas Bakari. That will stay in play. I think that's Garrett Troop who caught up to the ball. It's going to be cleared out for the moment. Getting his foot on the ball is Malik Ibrahim. Collins going for the takeaway, didn't quite get it. Here's Nakame. It's past the defender. Nakame had defenders all around him, and there's going to be a whistle. That's going to be a foul against Huntington. Might be on Pablo Garcia, but he's the one who's down right now. Clock has not yet stopped. And Garcia trying to get up, and he does get up. He's pleading his case with the referee, but well, that didn't last very long. That's both Giuseppe Santacroce and Zach Hargreaves who were set up at the ball. Now it's Hargreaves who will take the kick. Hargreaves into the box. There's a chance, and that's going to go wide of the net. Greenfield sends it out of the box. It's a long pass over to Jared. I beg your pardon, it's not Jared Wilthice. It was Jonas Musselman. Now a foul is called against Indiana Wesleyan, and it'll be a free kick for the Foresters as Usman Gil Ivern was the one who put it in play for Huntington. Defender comes from behind. That is Philip Basara. And this ball just does clear midfield. That was a push there by Collins. Collins has that one redirected. Right there to stop it was Igor Barbieri. And Huntington has a chance. That's deflected. Santacroce with the takeaway, and he boots it up the field. But once again, Huntington has a chance. The ball makes its way to James Lighton. Here's Foshee. Sends it up the field, a short pass. The left-footed shot, that's going to go well wide of the net. And it's headed out of bounds. A throw-in coming up for Indiana Wesleyan. There's a header by Basara. Check that. That was Nakame. And Nakame able to keep that ball away from Pablo Garcia. This is Bakari. Gets it across midfield, and he will get it to the ball. Bakari goes down. He got run into. The officials don't stop play. Got run into by Pablo Garcia. May well have been inadvertent. Little slide kick there by Nakame. Knocks it out of bounds. But I think that went off of Nakame, and that's exactly what happened. It's a corner kick for Huntington. Well, this is Pablo Garcia, the junior, about to take the corner kick for Huntington. And Garcia sends it right in front of the net. That's knocked out. And I think that was touched last by Aaron Carr, the Indiana Wesleyan goalie. And this is going to be another corner kick for the Foresters. It looks like Eric O'Cook, who's going to take the kick. He Puts it in play right in front of the net. That's redirected by Carr. Knocked up the field by Bakari. Coming from behind, that's a trip, I think. Philip Basaro went down. And yes, it is going to be called a trip and a free kick for Wesleyan. Troop gets it across midfield, trying to get it to Winter Cassius. That ball went out of bounds. Apparently Huntington touched it last. Here's Troop to put it in play. Trying to find Cassius. This one's knocked out of bounds. That's going to be another Wildcat throw-in. The throw-in goes to Malik Ibrahim. Hargreaves sends to the near side looking for Nakame. Nakame has it. Sends a short pass up the field. That's cleared away, and there with the takeaway is Igor Barbieri. Barbieri got pushed down. I'm not sure if the officials saw it, but Barbieri definitely got pushed down. They'll play on. Here's Santa Cruz. Sends it into the box, and that's cleared out. Back up to Ewan Stevens. One goes off of Nakame. Nakame gathers it. Had a defender right on him. That was Pablo Garcia. Foresters clear it out. I think that was Lighton who cleared it for Huntington. And here's Ibrahim with a throw-in. Ibrahim, by the way, transferred him from Southern Wesleyan University. He went to, he's a native of Jamestown, North Carolina. There's a takeaway from behind by Hargreaves. Hargreaves will boot it down the field. Climbing up in the air to get the header there was Nakame. He heads it back to Kyle Reinhardt. Reinhardt across midfield. Able to get it to Winter Cassius. Here's Ibrahim. Trying to get it through a crease. That ball pinballs off a couple different players. And Bakari gets it up to Winter Cassius. Cassius along the end line. Gets it back to Bakari. Bakari with Pablo Garcia right on him. This ball goes out of bounds. Going to be a corner kick for the Wildcats. High in the air, knocked away by Greenfield. I think he was the last one to touch it, so that will be another corner kick for the Wildcats. Another chance, but that ball gets away from Cassius and scooped up by Greenfield. We're well represented, both, I'd say Huntington's more well represented at this particular game than Indiana Wesleyan, not just because it's Huntington's home game, even though they're playing at IWU. Meanwhile, here's a chance for the Foresters. They try to get it to Zach Collins, but it's going to be cleared the other way by Reinhardt. And Musselman gets to the ball, and he'll send it back to Gabe Greenfield. But even with Huntington being more well represented, there's still a good number of IWU fans here. Indiana Wesleyan located in Marion, Indiana, about an hour away from Fort Wayne. And Huntington's about 45 minutes away. Of course, Huntington University named after the town of Huntington where it's located. That's going to be redirected by Ewan Stevens. He's able to get it to Zach Hargreaves. Cross over to Yuto Nakame. Stevens sends it across midfield. Long pass by Ibrahim, trying to get it to Nakame. Hargreaves. That one goes off the head, I think, of Parker Stewart. It actually went over the fence here at Indiana Tech and out of bounds. Now the Foresters have it, looking to get something going the other way. This is Foshi, who sends it back to Jonas Musselman. Musselman gets it across midfield, but taken away from behind by Nakame. Backwards pass across midfield to Bakari, and Bakari will get it over to Nakame. Nakame sends it back to Hargreaves. Long pass up the field. Here's a chance. Basara pushing towards it, but that's going to be saved and snagged out of the air by Gabe Greenfield. And Greenfield sends it toward midfield, a long boot, but climbing the ladder to get that header was Nakame. Battle for the ball, and here is Cassius. Cassius pushing down the sideline, keeps it in. Sends it to the middle of the field for Zach Hargreaves. There's a takeaway by Noah Stanford. That's going to be a throw-in for Wesleyan. Throw-in goes to Hargreaves. Hargreaves with a backward pass to Nakame. Nakame gets it back. Cash is able to find Nakame. This one's going to be cleared out, though, by Huntington. Just gets out of the box, and now Santa Cruz gets a foot on it, but knocks it out of bounds. This will be Huntington's throw-in. As Nakame was just about to put the ball in play, but the officials made the decision that, nope, it's Huntington's throw-in. Foshi puts it in play. The header by Nakame. Just outside the box. Here's a chance. Santa Cruz and a diving save by Greenfield. Heck of a play there by Gabe Greenfield to get the save. Greenfield boots it. That's going to be a push from behind, or so I thought. And yeah, it was a push from behind. They called it on Giuseppe Santa Cruz. Well, play has been stopped because player needs help tying his shoe. I think it's Peyton Miller who's getting his shoe tied. His teammate stops to help him. I can't quite tell who it is who's tying the shoe for him. I think it's Miller who's getting the shoe tied. Well, it was Noah Stanford who was tying the shoe, but on a closer look, it might have actually been Nathan Lemon. He's from right here in Fort Wayne, by the way. He went to Concordia Lutheran High School. I'll be there later on to broadcast the girls' basketball season opener for Concordia as they take on New Haven. Here's Ibrahim across midfield, gets it up to Basara. Sent to the other side of the field off the foot of Igor Barbieri. Sent across midfield by Ewan Stevens. Gets it to Giuseppe Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz in the box, trying to get it to Ibrahim. Ibrahim finds Cassius. The pass back to Garrett Troop. So we are in the 29th minute, about to start the 30th minute of this game. Huntington looking to get something going the other way. Musselman sends it just across midfield to Cooper Foshee, and Foshee will send it down the field, a pass for Peyton Miller. Check that, he was looking for Zach Collins, not Peyton Miller. Pass to Ibrahim. Sends it short to Bakari. Bakari was pushed from behind by Usman Gil Ivern. And a free kick for Wesleyan as we are in the 30th minute here at Warrior Athletic Field on the campus of Indiana Tech. That was a chance for Wesleyan, but now Foshee has the ball. And it's cleared out by Jonas Musselman, but he sends it right to Kyle Reinhardt. Diving after it is Musselman, and I think that ball went off his foot before it went out. And it is going to be Wesleyan who gets the throw in. Ibrahim looking to put it in play as Nakame was set up. Here's the throw in to Cassius. Right in front of the goal, but knocked out of there, I think, by Keegan Lee. Santa Cruz sends it up the field. Here's another chance, but this one's going to be scooped up by Greenfield. Garcia clears that one over, looking for, I think, for Barbieri. Sometimes hard to tell the numbers from a distance. So they get that one across midfield. That's going to go all the way into the box, and Aaron Carr is the only one there. Over to Nakame. No score so far. Indiana Wesleyan has controlled the ball. They've had more opportunities so far than Huntington. And they'll look to get another scoring opportunity here as Kyle Reinhardt comes up with the ball. Pushing towards him is Zach Collins. Reinhardt's able to keep it away from him. This ball goes out of bounds and a throw in for the Foresters. That's Foshee who throws it in. Gets it into Zach Collins. And Collins has it taken away from behind by Ibrahim. Now the Foresters looking to get it going the other way. Here's James Lighton. Pass to the far side. Into the box, but cleared out by Reinhardt. And now the Wildcats come back the other way. This is Cassius. Winter Cassius across midfield. Gets away from Usman Gil Ivern. No whistle. They'll play on. And here's Kyle Reinhardt who pushes across midfield. Gets it up to Bakari. Bakari sends it into the box, and that's going to be scooped up by Greenfield. 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Here's Musselman. Pass up to Garcia. And this is going to go out of bounds. Whistles will blow as I think they let a sub or two come in. They will let some subs come in.
Romo.
Diego Romo was one of the players to check in for the Foresters as Nakame gets set to put it in play, and he finds Malik Ibrahim. Ibrahim with the cross over to Ewan Stevens. Stevens sends it across midfield, trying to get it to Winter Cassius, and that ball's taken away. Stevens gets a foot on it. Into the box, right back to the middle. Up in the air off the foot of Santa Cruz, and that's going out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Huntington with 10:48 and counting to play in this first half.
Indiana Wesleyan substitutions, Parker Stewart and McLean Hastings.
Parker Stewart and McLean Hastings enter the game. Here's Garcia. Lighton sends it across midfield. Now the Foresters will come the other way. Sent to the middle of the field, and Carr is the only one there waiting for that ball. And Carr clears it over to Reinhardt. Hargreaves gets the ball across midfield and finds Philip Basara. This ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Foresters. Fashi trying to get control, and that's taken away from behind by Jackson Carpenter. This ball will go out of bounds, and that was touched last by the Wildcats. Throw-in goes to Usman Gil-Ivern. And that's going to be a trip. A quick kick by the Foresters as they get it to Pablo Garcia. Header out of bounds, another throw-in for the Foresters. Foresters haven't had a lot of scoring opportunities in this game. They've had a few, but they're looking to get one here late in the first half as we've got 7:48 to go in the half. Sent up the field looking for Jackson Carpenter. Carpenter has the ball. Defender on him. He's able to keep it away from him. That was Diego Romo coming from behind, and Carpenter is down. He's able to get back up. And now back the other way come the Foresters. They did not blow the whistle, so now Wesleyan looking to go. Pass to the far side for Parker Stewart. He's another one of those Warsaw natives. He might actually be the only Warsaw native on this Indiana Wesleyan team. Ball gets loose. Nakame gets to it. Cross to the middle of the field. It's cleared out. There were two defenders right on the ball handler. And Ben Arnold comes up with it. Gets it up the field looking for Jordan Morris. Morris gets pushed, and the official is right there. That's going to be a free kick for Jordan Morris, the South Bend, Indiana native. Went to McCallie High School, and now Morris goes down onto the ground. They're going to stop the clock with 6:09 to go. So the trainer will come out to look at Jordan Morris. Back in just a second. Jordan Morris is being helped off the field. Had the training staff come out to take a look at him. And now this will be a free kick for Huntington after Morris was pushed down just a moment ago.
Coming into the game for Huntington, Alan Bernardo.
I think they're just waiting to get players set. Alan Bernardez was the sub who came in for Morris after he went off the field. But Huntington's just about ready for the free kick. Now they put it in play, but it's cleared out. The kick that was initially taken by Pablo Garcia. Garcia will let that one go. I thought it went off of Wesleyan. And now the Wildcats will bring in a sub. Forrester's looking for a scoring chance as Alan Bernardez goes for the loose ball. A player goes down, and it's going to go the other way. Bernardez pleading his case. Honestly, I'm not sure what he did to cause that, as Nakame went down there. Carr has it. Sends it over to Reinhardt. Carr will look to clear. Pushing down the field is Ibrahim, and this ball goes all the way to the far side, and they get it over to Hargraves. Hargraves, long pass, looking for Nakame. Nakame sends it off the head of Santa Cruz. Ball is loose. Wesleyan was looking for a whistle in the box. They don't get one. As Greenfield came up with a save. That'll go out of bounds. Off the foot of Pablo Garcia, and the throw-in coming up for Nakame. He gets it into Hargraves, back to Nakame. And he sends it back to Kyle Reinhardt. Aaron Carr will look to get this one out of the box. Got the ball to Hargraves. That pass gets away from Jackson Carpenter. Now the Foresters have it. Still no score as Gil Ivern sends this one across midfield over to Foshee. Cooper Foshee along the sideline slows down and gets it back to Garcia. Back over to Lighton. This ball goes out of bounds, and Iwu will get the throw in. Backward pass to Reinhardt. Reinhardt gets it over to Nakame. And there's a trip as Gil Ivern came from behind and tripped up Malik Ibrahim. He does help him to his feet, though. And off the free kick, there's a takeaway by Diego Romo, and Diego Romo got tripped briefly, gets the ball up the field, up to Ben Arnold. A short pass up to Ibrahim. Ibrahim with a long boot. Greenfield waiting for it. And a header back across midfield. Actually comes short of midfield. Hargraves looking to get it back for Wesleyan. And we're inside the 43rd minute. Or the 44th minute, actually, here at Warrior Athletic Field in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is Huntington's home game as that ball is taken away by Reinhardt. He got right in front of Alan Bernardez. Carr wants to clear. That's going to be a push from behind. They call that one on Keegan Lee. And we've got 1 minute left to go here in this first half. This is going to be a free kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Giuseppe Santa Cruz sets it up. I think he's going to take the kick. Time ticking away, down to 35 seconds. And now Santa Cruz will put it in play. He sends it over to Hargraves. Back to Santa Cruz. That's redirected by the Foresters up toward midfield. It goes off of Jared Wilthice. Cleared out by the Foresters. Carpenter gets to it from outside the box. Knocks it into the box. And it's mostly green shirts there. That ball is cleared out. And Bernardez stops short of midfield, and that will bring us to halftime here at Warrior Athletic Field in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Well, Indiana Tech and Indiana Wesleyan are scoreless. You are watching this edition of Huntington Foresters Soccer. No score at halftime, at about a 15-minute halftime, and then we'll come back for the start of the second half. We are here at Warrior Athletic Field. No score so far between Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. Indiana Wesleyan has had a few more scoring opportunities than Huntington has. Huntington did have a few scoring opportunities toward the end of the first half, but Indiana Wesleyan did a good job of controlling the ball, and Huntington has done a good job keeping them from getting too many easy scoring opportunities. The defense has surrounded the ball on a number of occasions. So far, Gabe Greenfield pitching a shutout as well. Right now, Gabe Greenfield, you might say, is Huntington's player of the game for Huntington today as they try to advance on to the second round of the Crossroads League tournament. This, of course, the first round. Huntington was one and done in the Crossroads League tournament last year. I believe it was Spring Arbor who ended up knocking them out. Indeed, it was Spring Arbor, a 1-0 loss for the Foresters a year ago in the Crossroads League playoffs. Huntington is no stranger to playing here at Warrior Athletic Field. They came here earlier this year to take on Indiana Tech, and Indiana Tech beat the Foresters 2-0. The Warriors will have a home playoff game later tonight, scheduled for 7 o'clock. That'll be against Cornerstone. I believe Indiana Tech's record so far is 14-1-2 for the overall season. They have had a great season. Huntington has had a good season, 9-6-3 for their overall record, and looking to avoid going one and done in the Crossroads League playoffs. But we've got no score between Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. We'll be back as we get the second half underway. You are watching this broadcast of Huntington men's soccer. Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan scoreless as we come out of halftime. Indiana Wesleyan kicked the ball off to start the first half. So I think Huntington will have the possession to start the second half. At least they'll start off with the possession. As Huntington tries to avoid going one and done, I beg your pardon, to start the Crossroads League tournament. .45 minutes on the clock as we are just about ready to start the second half from Warrior Athletic Field here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Foresters are huddled up. And now they break the huddle, and it looks like that's number 26, Igor Barbieri, who's going to take the opening kick for the second half. And Barbieri puts it in place, or puts it in play. Indiana Tech really controlled the possession in the first half. Huntington hoping to change those fortunes here in the second. So they get the ball down the field. The two teams have, of course, switched sides here for the second half. Kyle Reinhardt got the header there. Sent across midfield by Giuseppe Santacroce. Short pass up to Usman Gil-Ivern. Taken from behind by Winter Cassius. Jonas Musselman chasing after the ball. This one will go out of bounds. And it'll be a throw-in for the Foresters. Coming from behind, that was Barbieri, and I think they called him for the push. Got the arm on the defender, and this will be a free kick for Wesleyan. Pass up the field for Bakari. Bakari tries to make a move on the defender, sends it backwards to Zach Hargraves. Hargraves with a boot to the near side of the field, header into the box. Now, if this game were to remain tied at the end of the second half, we would go to a sudden death overtime. Going for the takeaway here is Hargreaves, and he's got it, working his way backwards. And he slides down on the other side of midfield. Might have been pushed by one of the Foresters, and apparently he was. It's a free kick for Wesleyan. Hargreaves boots it toward the box. A couple of players both going for it. Here's a chance, and that shot goes well wide of the net off the foot of Winter Cassius. And Greenfield will boot it away for Huntington. It's going to be a whistle, and it's going to be a free kick for Huntington. And they waste no time putting it in play. That's Eric Ocock, who has it taken away by Santacroce. That pass goes beyond the reach of Ibrahim. Pass back to Aaron Carr, and Carr will boot it the other way for Wesleyan. That's cleared across midfield, and pushing toward the ball is Philip Basara. Basara with a chance, and his shot is going to go over and onto the roof of the Warrior Athletic Fieldhouse. And that's one of 5 soccer balls that's currently up there. And for a second there, I thought that one was going to come rolling down off the roof, but it did not. In fact, there might be a 6th soccer ball up there, but not surprisingly, they've probably had a lot of soccer balls go up there. Not just the 5 that are up there, but maybe some that have gone up there and maybe been retrieved, although you'd probably have to have a scissor lift to do that, and they might have 1 or 2 of those around here. That's a push from behind against the Foresters, and this will be a free kick for Jonas Bakari. Huntington looking to go back the other way as Gil Ivern sends it back to James Lighton. Lighton boots it down the field. The header by Ocock. Barbieri pushing toward the ball, and that's taken away by Stevens. Ewan Stevens able to get it up to Zach Hargreaves. That one's going to go across midfield. They get it to Winter Cassius, and Cassius sends it back to Garrett Troop. Ibrahim has that one go off the foot of Santa Cruz. Forster's looking for a chance as Stanford sends it up. Redirected. Taken back by Ben Arnold. They get the ball into the box, but only briefly. And the Wildcats clear. Basara chasing towards it. And he gets to the ball as Keegan Lee was unable to stop it. Back to Basara. Basara with 2 defenders on him, and Lee takes that one away. Another chance for the Wildcats. Shot. That one goes right over the net. Giuseppe Santa Cruz had a chance, but sent it too high above the net. And it remains a scoreless game. They get it across midfield to Stanford. Stanford sends it up the field, down the sideline, and that's out of bounds. Still no score between the Foresters and Wildcats, but the Wildcats looking to get it going the other way. This ball goes out of bounds. That'll be a throw-in for the Foresters. I think that's Cooper Foshee who's going to put it in play for Huntington. Throw in just barely gets to the box. That's going to be cleared by the Wildcats. There's a chance for Basara as Lee slides down and clears the ball. And Ocock sends it up the field. Back to Ocock. And a takeaway there by Santa Cruz. A couple players go battle for the ball there at midfield. But then Wesleyan looks to take it the other way. Ibrahim sends it across midfield. Gets it up to Winter Cassius. Basara has that one go wide of the net, and it looks like it's going to go out, and it does. So this will be a goal kick for Huntington. Just over 8 minutes into the second half as Greenfield will put it in play. Greenfield sends it downfield, and that one might have grazed the back of Stanford. Meanwhile, pushing toward it, that's Ego Barbieri. Barbieri along the end line. A little bicycle kick, and that one goes over the goal. I think that was Garcia who took the shot. I called it a bicycle kick. It was more of a halfway bicycle kick, you might say, as Aaron Carr is ready to boot this ball away. That's going to clear midfield. Stanford sends it across midfield. Here's another chance for Huntington. No offsides here. Shot is all wide of the net, just barely. I think that was Ben Arnold who took the shot for Huntington, and they came up so close to taking a 1-0 lead, but the shot goes just inches wide. Still no score here in Fort Wayne, Indiana at Warrior Athletic Field. These two teams went into overtime when they played in the regular season. We could be headed that direction here today. We've got another 34-plus before that is determined, as Garrett Troop has the ball. Here's Stevens. That's going to get all the way into the box, just barely into the box, as Greenfield scoops it up. Huntington has had a lot more opportunities early here in the second half than they did in the first half, it seems like. And there's a takeaway, but that's going to be a foul. They're going to get Noah Stanford for a push from behind. And Indiana Wesleyan is going to keep the possession. This will be a throw-in for the Wildcats. In a crowd, it's cleared out by the Foresters. Barbieri chasing after it. That's a trip. Are they going to call it? They are, I do believe. Foresters trying to avoid going one and done in the Crossroads League just like last year against Spring Arbor. That was a 1-0 final. We could very well be headed that direction this time around. And that's regardless of who wins. And coming up from behind to get the save is Gabe Greenfield. Went right over the back of, I think, Basara to snag that one out of the air. A big stop there by Gabe Greenfield, and he's put together a heck of a performance. Here's Stanford. Got some contact. This ball goes out of bounds off the foot of Giuseppe Santacroce. Stanford will put it in play just across midfield, and he gets it in to Eric Ocock, but that goes out of bounds off of Ocock. Throw into Hargraves. Coming from behind is Ibrahim. That's cleared out of bounds by the Foresters. Hargraves along the end line. Check that. I think that's Jonas Bakari. I beg your pardon. This ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for the Foresters. As mentioned earlier, we could be headed the direction of a similar score to Huntington's game against Spring Arbor last year in the Crossroads League. Now, whether it's Huntington or Indiana Wesleyan who gets that one goal, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the final score. Diego Romo will come into the game. This is a throw-in for Huntington. Another throw-in for the Foresters. They get it in. Stanford sends it up the field. Header in the air by Ben Arnold. Arnold in the box. Sends it to the opposite side for Eric Okuk. Gets around the defender. Left-footed shot. Missed the net. Wide left that time. And Aaron Carr will look to boot it away. Taken away by Usman Gil-Ivern. It's just barely off the foot of Ben Arnold. As Ibrahim pushes it up the field, gets the ball to Winter Cassius. Cassius racing across midfield. He goes down, was pushed from behind, and this is going to be a free kick. That's Stanford pleading his case. But either way, it's going to be Malik Ibrahim to put it in play on the free kick, as he just did that. It looked like Nakame may have been a little banged up there. He's hobbling around. He's not going to the bench. And they have not stopped, not brought the trainers out. In the box, a header by Fashi. Coming from behind for the takeaway is Ibrahim. That ball sent across midfield. Looks like it's going out, and it does. And Nakame will throw it in for Wesleyan. He gets it into Aaron Carr. Fashi the header. Headed back the other way by Hargraves. As Jonas Bakari goes after it, and I think he was the one who knocked it out, so Huntington will get the throw-in. Back the other way comes Okuk. Able to get it across midfield. He lost his footing briefly before regaining his balance. And there's a cross to the far side of the field. Cooper Fashi's over there. Fashi sends it into the box, but it's booted out. And a throw-in coming up for the Foresters. Throw into the box. They get it to Barbieri. Shot, and that one goes wide to the left. I think that was Stanford who took the shot, rather Stanford, Mark Stanford. A couple of shots for Huntington have been very close, but a lot more scoring opportunities here in the second half than they did in the first half. but we remain scoreless. Off the head of Cassius. Redirected back the other way. Getting toward the ball is Stanford, and that's taken away by Wesleyan. That was Garrett Troop who came up with it. And now pushing down the field, here's Santa Cruz. Keegan Lee goes for the takeaway, and this one's cleared out, but I think that's going to be a corner kick, and it is. Cleared out by James Lighton. And Indiana Wesleyan with a scoring opportunity. Had more of those in the first half than they have so far here in the second. This is Zach Hargreaves to take the corner kick. Right in front of the net, they go for the header, and this one is out of bounds. Gabe Greenfield will take the goal kick, and he sends it over to Keegan Lee. Lee, a little nice touch there by Eric Okook. Taken away, and now Malik Ibrahim went right down, and he's on the field. But he gets up. He was on the field as in he was down on the field. Booed to the far side of the field by Hargraves. Gets it to Ibrahim. Beg your pardon, that was Nakame. And that one's going to no man's land. Wanders out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick for the Foresters as Greenfield will put it in play. Parker Stewart will check into the game for Wesleyan. Good kick by Greenfield, and that one just does get across midfield. Here's Troop. He gets it to Cassius. And pushing down the field, that's Bakari. Bakari racing toward the box, and that was just barely saved by Gabe Greenfield. And he's going to boot it down the field. He's got Barbieri trying to get ahead of the pack, and now Barbieri does get ahead of the pack. That's not offsides. Barbieri trying to keep control of the ball. Takes the shot, and that's over the net. This will be Aaron Carr to put it in play for Wesleyan. Jackson Carpenter enters the game for the Wildcats. Taken away there by number 27, Diego Romo for the Foresters as this ball is kicked to the near side of the field. Ocock is there, able to keep it away from Stewart, at least for the time being, but now Stewart gets a foot on it. Ocock goes after it. Climbing the ladder to get that header was Winter Cassius, and Ocock climbs the ladder to get a header of his own. And we have a player go down outside the box. Barbieri was the one who went down. Will it be the Foresters getting the kick here? I think so. Yes, it will. Well, both Gil Ivern and Lighton are there where the ball's about to be kicked. So is Ocook. But I think he just gave way to Igor Barbieri. And so did Lighton. Clock is running down towards 23 minutes to go. Barbieri looks to put it in play. Nobody has scored yet, and now another change in personnel as Ocook comes back right next to Gil Ivern. And they'll let Eric Ocook, The Warsaw, Indiana native take the kick. His shot is scooped up and saved by Aaron Carr. And Carr will look to boot this one. Tries to get his players into the right spot. That looked very much like a handball, and now getting pulled down was Barbieri. And I think they might be calling him for a handball. Now here comes a yellow card. A yellow card. Looked like it was issued to Stevens. Barbieri walked away in disgust, so he might have given the card to both of them. Well, this is going to be a free kick for the Foresters. As James Lighton has it set up. Going to reset the clock to 22:16. As Lighton has the ball set up, and right now I think both teams are trying to make sure that they're set properly. How about that? That was the national anthem that just came on. We already had that before the game. Never a bad time to be patriotic, but we have had the national anthem already. Shot goes above the goal, and we remain tied at 0. That's basically back-to-back free kicks for the Foresters as Zach Collins and Jordan Morris come into the game. Back-to-back free kicks for the Foresters that they were not able to cash in on. They have had a lot of scoring opportunities here in the second half, more so than they did in the first, as I can tell. As Aaron Carr gives that one a good boot across midfield. And Stanford creates a possession the other way for the Foresters. This is Zach Collins. Has it knocked away, back to O'Cook. That one goes beyond the reach of Romo. Romo trying to keep it in play, but could not. Oh, check that. That was off of Wesleyan. It's a corner kick for the Foresters. And Diego Romo will be the one to put it in play. Right in front of the goal, the header knocked up in the air, and that one goes over the goal, off the hands of Carr, and that should be another corner kick for the Foresters. It will indeed be, as I think that's Usman Gil-Ivern ready to take the kick. Another one right in front of the goal, and that one goes out of bounds. Apparently they're going to say it's a goal kick for Wesleyan. I thought for sure that went off the hands of Carr, but the officials say it did not. And we remain scoreless. Aaron Carr boots that one out of the box, trying to get it to Jonas Bakari. Sent to the middle of the field. These two teams went into overtime in the regular season. That game ended in a 1-1 tie as the throw-in goes to Parker Stewart. Stewart trying to get it to Philip Basara. This one stays in play as Jackson Carpenter tries to make his move on the defender. That's taken away from behind by Diego Romo. Ball goes out of bounds. This will be a throw-in for Wesleyan. Right in front of the net, and that one's cleared out by the Foresters. Right there waiting for it was Ewan Stevens. That's going to go wide of the net, and I believe this will be a goal kick for Huntington, and it will. 19:04 and counting on the clock. As Gabe Greenfield will look to boot it away. Backwards header there by Lighton. This ball gets into the box, and it's going to be scooped up by Aaron Carr. He flips it just barely out of the box. Hargraves gets it up the field. That's taken away from behind. Try to get it to Parker Stewart. Ocock trying to keep it away from Stewart, but Stewart comes up with the ball. That's going to be cleared out by Keegan Lee. Keegan Lee is a Fort Wayne native. He went to Canterbury High School, which usually has a pretty good soccer program. Hargraves sends it through. Chance for Wesleyan, and that's cleared away, but this will be a corner kick for Wesleyan. The shot was taken by Winter Cassius, and the Wildcats get the free kick. Zach Hargraves will take the kick as we've got 17-18 and counting left to play in regulation. No score. Hargraves sends it in front of the net, the header, and that's wide left. I think that was Kyle Reinhardt who took the shot. And now Gabe Greenfield will send it away for the Foresters. Still no score. And Greenfield gets the pass off to Keegan Lee. Sends the ball to Garrett Troop. Ocock going for the takeaway. Stewart gets the takeaway and eventually gets it to Hargreaves. Across midfield goes Stevens. He gets the ball to Garrett Troop. Try to clear it. Ball is loose. Back to Troop. Into the box. Here's a chance. Greenfield right in front of it, and offsides is the call. Gabe Greenfield may or may not get credit for that save, and he may or may not be coming back into the game. He's down. The officials stop play. May bring out the trainers to take a look at him. He is up on his feet, so maybe he'll be good to go. And he is good to go. Keegan Lee pushing down the field. Long pass, looking for Morris. Can he get to it? No. Garrett Troop will look to throw it in. Official giving the signal to Troop to let him throw the ball in. Ocock going for the takeaway. Cassius regains control, but not for long, and two players go down. Cassius remains down. going to be a free kick for Wesleyan. A quick kick. Right in front of the net, and that's Greenfield who scoops it up. Just a moment ago, I thought he might not be good to go back in the game, but at this point he looks to be pretty much healthy. And he's still in the game. Throw-in goes to Parker Stewart. Now the Foresters look to get it going the other way. They get the ball to Collins. Collins has it taken away. Wesleyan's gotten a number of opportunities in just the last few minutes. Early on in the second half, most of the second half, in fact, Huntington had been controlling the possession. But here's a header, and that one goes the wrong way and out of bounds. I think Cassius was trying to head it into the net, but instead he sent it beyond the left goalpost. As Pablo Garcia has come into the game for Huntington, we are 13:31 away from the end of regulation. And we'll see if this game is decided by the end of regulation or goes into a tie. Goes into overtime. These two teams went into overtime in the regular season, with that game ending in a 1-1 tie. Here's Stewart pushing down the field. And going for the takeaway is Okuk. Meanwhile, Stewart goes down. They did not call it. They get the ball over to Hargraves. Sends it to Troop. Into the box. Cassius has it taken away from behind. Now Huntington looking to get it going the other way. Here's Morris. Morris looks to push. Try to get it up to Morris, and he has it taken away. Nobody blew the whistle. Wesleyan was going kind of slowly. And going down there is Noah Stanford. And he remains down on the field. As James Lighton is helping him stretch out his leg, it looks like. Looks like Stanford's back up on his feet. Foresters will look to put the ball in play. Deflected as Carpenter was going for the ball. Sent to the middle of the field for Stanford. Trying to get it back to Stanford. It's taken away by Ibrahim, and it's going the other way. Wesleyan will get the kick. Ibrahim apparently was tripped. And this is going to be put in play by Hargraves. Zach Hargraves sends it across midfield. Send it all the way over to Garrett Troop. Double team. That's a takeaway by Parker Stewart. Stewart. And they work it over to Cassius. Troop. Long shot. That's going to be scooped up by Greenfield. Up the field for Stanford. Stanford sends it back, and they get it across midfield to Collins. Long pass right in front of the goal, and that's going to be saved by Carr. Collins had a chance, but a soft kick that Carr was able to save. Another opportunity for Huntington that comes up empty. But they have had a number of opportunities here in the second half, more so than they did in the first. But Indiana Wesleyan has controlled the possession lately, much like they did for most of the first half. A pass over to Garrett Troop. As we're down to 9:48 left to play. There's a takeaway from behind. Here's a chance as Collins gets past the defender. Has two defenders on him, though, and that is wide again. That's at least 3 times when Huntington has gone for a shot that's just missed that left post. Giuseppe Santacroce will come into the game. Kevin Ndedi comes into the game, a graduate student transfer from University of Jamestown, native of Nairobi, Kenya. Aaron Carr boots it down the field. Header back the other way as now Huntington had started to control the possession. But now Wesleyan looks to get it going the other way. This is Ibrahim. They get the ball over to Hargraves. Hargraves trying to get it to Troop. Troop, as a defender pushing, gets it across midfield. And the Foresters take over. Trying to get it through traffic to Collins, but a whole bunch of red shirts were there to stop that ball. That's taken away by Ibrahim. Here's Carpenter. Gets it across midfield. That one is off of Lighton. And here is Usman Gil Ivern as the Foresters look to get it going the other way. Long pass to Ndedi. Ndedi gets to it. Little through ball here to Stanford. Can he get to it? Makes a move on the defender, and that's redirected out of bounds, but it looked like it went off of Wesleyan. That's going to be a corner kick for the Foresters. And Stanford is still down. He hasn't gotten up yet. The referee will help him to his feet, and it looks like he's okay. Usman Gil Ivern will put it in play on the corner kick. 7:23 and counting left to go. Huntington has had a number of scoring opportunities in this second half. Can they take advantage of this one? And right there is Carr to save it with almost no one around. Pass up ahead to Nakame. He finds Ibrahim. A pass down the field, but there defensively was Lighton. And I think he was the one that cleared it the other way looking for Morris. Here comes Hargreaves. Hargreaves sends it to the far side of the field. Santacroce makes a move. Ball goes out of bounds. It's a goal kick for the Foresters. 6:26 and counting left to go.
Wildcats substitutions. Philip
Bazara and Bakari check into the game for the Wildcats. Long boot by Gabe Greenfield. That'll clear midfield. Stanford going after the ball. Won't get to it. A through ball looking for winner Cassius. Cassius with a defender on, and it's cleared out by Keegan Lee. 5:37 to go. This will be a throw-in for the Wildcats. The ball did not quite reach the flag down there on the end line. There's a throw-in. Gets it to Cassius. Back out to Troop. Troop with the left foot. Cassius has it cleared out by Stanford, looking for Jordan Morris. Morris finds the ball. Gets it across midfield. It's a 2-on-3 here for the Foresters. Morris still pushing. Looking to find an opening. He'll back it out. Sends it into the box. The shot cleared out just in time. I believe that was Pablo Garcia who took the shot for the Foresters, and now back come the Wildcats. Keegan Lee slows things down, and Huntington has it back. The Fort Wayne native Keegan Lee, a junior from Canterbury High School and a transfer from Denison University, makes the defensive play there. We've got 4.5 minutes to go in regulation. We could be heading into overtime. Backwards pass. And there defensively is Reinhardt. They get it across midfield to Jonas Bakari. Bakari against multiple defenders and to work his way against 3 defenders. Right in front of the box, Lee knocks it away, and then it's cleared out by Lighton. That shot's redirected. That was Garcia who got a foot on that one. Troop spinning around, and Forrester goes down. I think that was Lighton. Going to call the foul against Wesleyan with 3:23 and counting to play. Well, we may very well be headed to overtime here in this first round Crossroads League tournament game. That header will go out of bounds. Foresters get the throw in with 3 minutes to go. Cleared back the other way. Another header. Ball still loose and taken away by Garcia. And apparently Garcia was tripped. So this will be a free kick for Huntington. And James Lighton will set it up as we've got 2.5 minutes in regulation. Clock is still running. Lighton sends it down the field. Carr reaches up for the save and then flips it out of the box. Jonas Bakari gets to the ball, pushing down the field. Looking for the through ball. He gets it to Basara. Basara chases it down to the corner. That's going out of bounds, and that's a corner kick for Indiana Wesleyan. It'll be Bakari to take the kick. As the clock ticks down to 1:45 here in the second half. We could very well be headed into overtime just like in the regular season. When we got to overtime between these teams in the regular season, nobody scored. Game ended in a tie. The header by Lighton. A little slide tackle there by Jordan Morris, and that'll lead to a free kick. Clock has stopped at 1:13. Indiana Wesleyan still with a chance to take the lead late here as Nakame gets up on his feet. He's walking under his own power, but he's walking a little gingerly as well. Zach Hargreaves going to take the kick for Indiana Tech, or for Indiana Wesleyan, rather. He boots it toward the box. The header gets deflected, and Greenfield has it. And are they going to call a handball? They did. They called it on Wesleyan. So we're inside the final minute of regulation. Cleared the other way. Can Morris get to it? Carr's waiting. It goes off his foot, and it's going out of bounds. 45 seconds, less than 45 seconds. Racing towards it is Stanford, and Stanford gets it in. They're holding on to Morris. His shot along the end line is saved. Aaron Carr boots it off the foot of Stanford. That's redirected the other way, and it goes into the goal! Zach Collins! Huntington takes the lead. .7 left to play as Zach Collins just redirected that ball. The Wesleyan players are pleading their case. Aaron Carr kicked it right off. Oh boy. Malik Ibrahim needs to be careful. He was waving his arms at the ref, and that is risky business. But right now, Huntington has a 1-0 lead. Haven't put the goal on the clock yet. They had the ball set up. There, we just got the announcement. Apparently the goal is good for Collins. We can get a look at what transpired here on the last replay. Yeah, Carr just kicks it right off the back of Stanford. And then Zach Collins, with the bottom of his cleat, knocks it in to give the Foresters a 1-0 lead. And now they have put the goal on the scoreboard. Wesleyan players look like they're still pleading their case, and a yellow card has just been issued. I think that was issued to Hargreaves. I tell you what, Ibrahim was waving his arms at the referee, and it's one thing to disagree with the referee, but to wave your arms at him, that is risky business. Right now, the goal is on the scoreboard. Referee trying to get everybody to calm down. We got 20.7 seconds left. And Huntington has taken the lead. Zach Collins putting it home for the Foresters. So many opportunities for Huntington in the second half. They cash in with 20.7 seconds left to go. Oh, one of the refs. Hold on a second. Refs were signaling something to the Wesleyan bench, perhaps to the scorer's table. They might be telling them to reset the clock. I think there was maybe 25, 26 seconds still on the clock when the goal was scored. Wait a second. Are they taking the goal off the board? They just took the goal off the board. Russ Lawson now is pleading his case. And the goal has been disallowed. It will not count. Not sure why they disallowed it. They might be claiming that Collins was offsides. The officials went and discussed things. And the official has the yellow card in his hand. Is he about to issue it? be ready just in case somebody does continue to argue. And now there's a yellow card that's been issued to Malik Ibrahim. He was doing some serious arguing earlier. Right now the ball is sitting back on the edge of the box, so the goal will not count. We remain scoreless. Looked as though Zach Collins had broken the scoreless tie. But after a discussion, perhaps because Collins was offsides, the officials have disallowed the goal. It looks like Carr is just going to get a goal kick. So Carr boots it away. We remain scoreless. Battle for the ball. Ndedi gets the takeaway. And they stop the clock with 6 seconds. Apparently it's going to be a free kick for Huntington. Oh, wait a second. A yellow card has been pulled out. And I think the yellow card is meant for Bakari. So the Foresters will get the free kick, but only 6 seconds remain on the clock here in regulation. Into the box. That ball gets loose, and we are going to overtime. We remain scoreless. This game will go into overtime as Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington look to advance to the second round of the Crossroads League tournament. We're back in just a moment. Well, the teams have switched sides. 10 minutes on the clock as we are just about ready to begin the overtime period, our first overtime period here at Indiana Tech. Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan are scoreless. As it looked like Zach Collins had the go-ahead goal with 20.7 seconds left, but it was disallowed, and best we can make out is because the players had not yet cleared the box when Aaron Carr sent away his kick. It actually went off the back of Noah Stanford. It looks like Indiana Wesleyan is going to get the opening kick here in the first overtime. 10 minutes on the clock. These two teams played to a tie in the regular season, a 1-1 tie. And the first overtime period is underway. Wesleyan has the ball to start things out. They get the ball all the way over to the near side to Yuto Nakame. And Nakame finds Ibrahim. That ball almost went out of bounds, just barely kept in play by Okuk. Foresters had a number of opportunities to score there in the second half and almost cashed in. It looked like the Collins goal would count, but it did not. As Carr will boot that out of the box. He's able to clear it out. He was in a position where he could no longer pick the ball up with his hands. Reinhardt boots it toward midfield, and that's going to be gathered in by Troop. He sends it up to Basara. Indiana Wesleyan had more opportunities in the first half than Huntington did, but that seemed to change in the second half as Huntington had a number of scoring opportunities. This throw-in will go to Wesleyan. They get the ball to Cassius. Winter Cassius boots it off a defender, and that's cleared out by the Foresters. Igor Barbieri is there. That's cleared across midfield by Reinhardt. And that's going to go out of bounds, a throw-in for the Foresters. Sent back to Carr. Carr boots it across midfield. That goes off the foot of Hargreaves. They get it to Ibrahim. Ibrahim gets away from Stanford. It's it across midfield, and there's a takeaway by Garcia. Garcia sends it up the field. Little through ball, and that's going to be offsides. That shot will not count. Ben Arnold put it in the net, but he was called for offsides. And this time the call was made immediately. Again, it was not offsides that took the goal away from Collins. I thought initially that it might have been, but may have been that simply Noah Stanford didn't get out of the way of the goalie as he tried to kick the ball away, which happened shortly before the goal was scored. But again, that goal was disallowed. And Greenfield flips this one out of the box. Pass makes its way to Garcia. Garcia leaves it back to Usman Gil Ivern. .6:28 and counting to play here in overtime. These two teams played to overtime last year, and that game went into a tie ended in a tie, I should say, at 1-1. Header back across midfield. Redirected to Bakari. Bakari able to get away from the defender for the moment. Pass back to Hargraves. Ibrahim goes down. Might just be a throw-in. Ibrahim still down. Now he gets up. Short throw in to Hargraves. Hargraves with a short kick. Forrester's trying to clear and get something going the other way. 5.5 to go here in overtime. Trying to regather it is Stanford. And here come the Forresters down the field. But Stevens gets in front of that one and takes it away. And now the Forresters have it again. That ball is deflected. And that's going to be another offsides call. As Ben Arnold was the one who was offsides. Cooper Foschi pleading his case. Over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt sends it over to Nakame. Back to Reinhardt. Troop across midfield. Gets it back. Troop pushing. Finds Bakari in the box. Bakari makes a move along the end line. And that's going to be cleared out. But right to Nakame. Nakame sends it back to Ibrahim. Ibrahim's shot is knocked away. Redirect, and that's a goal. Jonas Bakari. Or was he whistled for offsides? I think he was whistled for offsides. That goal comes off the board. Never came onto the scoreboard. Greenfield boots it. There's a collision. No whistle. This is Barbieri pushing toward the goal. Shot, and that one went off the outside of the goal. It did not go in. It might have gone off of Carr, though. Looks like it did. This will be a corner kick. Eric O'Cook will put it in play for the Foresters. Coming up on 2:55 left in the first overtime. It's kicked away from the goal. Garcia gets to it, trying to regather, but it's taken away from him by Reinhardt. Wesleyan looking to hurry down the field, and we're going to get a whistle. Pablo Garcia might have pulled Bakari down there. They'll stop the clock at 2:28, and official has the card in his hand, it looks like. He hasn't held it up yet, and it doesn't look like he's going to. Another chance for Wesleyan perhaps, but the header there by Musselman. Going for the takeaway there was Cassius. Off the head of Foschi. Reinhardt sends it back to Carr, as we've now got less than 2 minutes to play in the first overtime. Ocock gets back to it. Ocock pushing down the field, gets tripped, and this will be a free kick for the Foresters. 1:37 and counting to go. Lighton boots it down the field. Header goes backwards, redirected out of bounds. Throwing for the Foresters with 1:04 to go. Noah Stanford looks to put it in play. We're in the final minute of the first overtime. Garcia with the cross. Toward the box. Headed out. Cleared out by Hargreaves. Fashi trying to get to it. Whistles blow. It's a free kick for the Foresters. Clock is ticking down to 35. Lighton looking to boot it away. 21 seconds to go. Lighton does boot it away. Ball's redirected out of the box. Contact outside the box. That's going to be a free kick for Wesleyan if they can get it off. We're down to 10 seconds. And I don't think they're going to get it off. We're going to go to a second overtime here between Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. So one overtime in the books. And I believe a second overtime to come here at Indiana Tech as we try to decide who's moving on to the second round of the Crossroads League tournament. Second overtime will start in about 2 minutes. Just about ready for the second overtime here at Indiana Tech. Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan scoreless through all of regulation and the first overtime. They'll look to break the scoreless tie here in the second overtime. Otherwise, we'll go to penalty kicks. At the NAIA level, it is sudden death. Not like at the high school level where you have to play 2 overtime periods, even if somebody does score in the first overtime. I think Huntington's going to get the opening kick here in the second overtime. Indiana Wesleyan got the opening kick in the first overtime. In the second half, Huntington had a number of opportunities to put the ball in the net, but was just not able to cash in. See the Foresters huddled up there on the far side of the field. Teams have switched sides here for the second overtime. And Huntington will indeed get the kick to start the second overtime period. No score. That's Cooper Foschi, who's ready to kick. And don't know if he's just waiting for the music to turn off or what. Yeah, obviously we all love the pregame music and the music between breaks, but can't have it playing during the game. So now they have shut that off. And the second overtime is underway. Pass it back to Keegan Lee, who's made some nice defensive plays for the Foresters here today. He's from right here in Fort Wayne. Went to Canterbury High School, a private school here in Fort Wayne. Foresters work the ball down the field. There's a takeaway. I think that was Nakame who got the takeaway. Here's Garrett Troop pushing down the field. Troop has his ball deflected. This one will go out of bounds, and Wesleyan will get the throw in. Throw into Ewan Stevens, and he sends it almost clear across the field. To the middle of the field for Hargreaves. Hargreaves sends it over to Troop. Troop, a short pass, makes its way to Cassius. And that one goes off the head of Eric O'Cook. It'll be Garrett Troop to put the ball in play for Wesleyan. His throw-in reaches the box. Up in the air, header, and O'Cook clears it. Indiana Wesleyan looked like they had scored the game-winning goal in the first overtime period, but offsides was called and the goal was waved off. The same thing happened for Huntington, too. Pass it up the field for Ibrahim. Ibrahim trying to get it to Basara. Defenders are all over. As now Huntington tries to get it going the other way. Barbieri goes after it, and I think they're going to call him for the push. It'll be Wesleyan who takes over. No score with 7:57 left to go in regulation. We could be heading to penalty kicks. We would if this game remains scoreless at the end of this second overtime. Leaping up for the save. That ball's knocked out of there by Greenfield. But Gil Ivern could not get to the ball. And now here comes Wesleyan. Kept out of the box, and offsides is going to be whistled. Basara pleading his case for just a moment, but it's the Foresters who will take over as Greenfield, with a short kick out of the box, gets it to Keegan Lee. Lee gets it to O'Cook. O'Cook pushes. Right into the box. O'Cook trying to get to it, but it's cleared out. Cleared out by Kyle Reinhardt. And Stanford, I thought for sure that was going to be a throw-in for the Foresters, but are they giving it to Wesleyan? I did not see a single Forester touch that ball. Troop throws it in. Battling for it is Stanford. That ball goes out of bounds. This will be a throw-in for the Foresters. It's set up for a free kick, but the referee says no, it's supposed to be a throw-in. James Lightfoot was ready to boot that one away. Instead, he gives it to Eric O'Cook. And O'Cook's throw gets in play. It's redirected by Troop. A takeaway by Diego Romo sends it to the box, but coming out of the box to scoop it is Aaron Carr. And he flips it out to Giuseppe Santacroce. Santacroce slows down. Pass over to Stevens. This ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Wesleyan. Quick throw-in. They battle for it. Santacroce sends it across midfield. Gets it to Lighton. Lighton sends it down the field, all the way across the field. I believe that's Fashi who comes up with the ball. He's got a defender right on him, a couple of them. It's cleared, but it's going to go out of bounds. And a throw-in for the Foresters with 4:47 to go. And meanwhile, we have a player down for Indiana Wesleyan. Hard to tell who it is. Reinhardt helps him up. Still can't quite see the number. We do have 4:39 left to go in regulation. Excuse me, not regulation, but in the second overtime. That's Ewan Stevens, who's being helped off by two of his teammates, and he was trying as hard as he could not to put any weight on his right leg. This is a throw-in, meanwhile, for Huntington. Fashi puts it in play. And it's cleared back the other way. Header back across by Keegan Lee. And send it back over to Jonas Musselman. Musselman boots it down the field. One guy back there for Huntington. That's Barbieri working his way around the defense. And has it taken away. Still a chance, though, for the Foresters. That's deflected. Good defense there by Giuseppe Santacroce. He sends it down the field looking for Basara. And it's going to go the other way. Check that. It's going to be Wesleyan who gets the kick. Or is it Huntington who gets the kick? It is going to be Huntington, and they waste no time putting the ball in play. Lighton sends it across midfield to O'Cook. O'Cook into the box. There's a chance. Sliding effort, but the ball goes out of bounds. I think that was Cooper Foschi who went after it. No, check that. That was Zach Collins who went after it, the player who we thought had the game-winning goal late in the second half with 20.7 seconds left to go. But the goal was taken away, presumably because moments prior to that, Noah Stanford had gotten in the way of Aaron Carr's kick out of the box. Taken from behind. Forrester's with a chance, but a crowd of red is there to slow that scoring opportunity. That ball's cleared out. Did that go off of Huntington? Apparently it did not. 2:36 left to play. The throw-in for Collins. Stanford outside the box. Ball is still loose, and it'll go out of bounds. Here's Reinhardt, sends it down the field. It'll be a throw-in for Wesleyan with 1:52 and counting to play. Long throw-in into the box. Who's got it? It's cleared out by Gil Ivern. Romo comes up with it. Long kick down the field. Coming out of the box is Carr, and he's going to grab it. The defender pushing right towards him. As we come up on 1:15 to play in this second overtime period, we are likely heading into penalty kicks. No score. That was very close to being a handball there on Cassius, so now we're inside the final minute of the second overtime. Up to Stanford. Stanford gets it up the field. Barbieri looking to clear. He redirects it, but it's going to go out of bounds, and then Barbieri goes down. And they're going to stop the clock at 43 seconds. No score as Barbieri went down. He's back on his feet. Looks like he's okay. That's Wes Williams to put it in, and he does get it in. Climbing up to get it is Stanford. A takeaway there by Williams. That's a takeaway from behind by Ibrahim. Greenfield's going to chase that ball down. He punts it down the field over the head of Stanford. It's cleared back across midfield. We're coming up on 10 seconds to play. And it looks like we're heading to penalty kicks, or perhaps not. That's Cassius pushing towards it, down to 3 seconds. Can he get a shot off? That's not going to do it. And we're going to go to penalty kicks as we've played through 2 overtimes here at Indiana Tech with still no score. Get that penalty kick started in just a matter of moments on this broadcast of Huntington men's soccer. A little update here on the penalty kicks. We will be announcing who's kicking and whether or not the shot goes in. However, we will not be allowed to show you the shots as they take place. So we're going to keep this shot as it is, but we're not going to keep the shot on the goal. Just to announce to our viewers there that we will be telling you what happens, whether or not the shot goes in. But we will not be allowed to show you exactly what happens. Just wanted to go ahead and give you the update. Well, as far as I can tell, it looks like Indiana Wesleyan is going to take the first of the penalty kicks. Again, we cannot show you the penalty kicks, but we can tell you what happens as it goes on and who's kicking. As right now, Gabe Greenfield is in the box for Huntington. Well, now Aaron Carr is headed toward the goal as well. But Greenfield remains in the box as Carr walks around along the end line. So by that look, I would think that Wesleyan is going to take the first set of kicks to try and decide the winner. I believe that's Kyle Reinhardt who's going to be selected first to take the first kick. Officials explaining to the goalies how this is going to work. As Reinhardt has made his way to the box, and the officials will set up the ball to let him kick it. No score throughout all of regulation and all of overtime. So it comes down to penalty kicks. And Huntington has requested that we not show you the kicks as they happen, but we can announce what's going on. As again, Kyle Reinhardt is going to take the kick. His kick is in. Indiana Wesleyan leads it 1-0. Looked like he faked Greenfield to his left, and the ball was kicked to Greenfield's right and just got that far corner. Well, for Huntington, Igor Barbieri will get the first shot. and try to knot this thing up at one apiece. Indiana Wesleyan with the 1-0 lead. Barbieri has it set up. His shot knocked away by Carr. And it remains 1-0. Indiana Wesleyan with the lead. And I believe that's Cade Binkard. Haven't called his name at all today. He's a native of Eugene, Oregon. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's probably an Oregon Ducks fan. Binkard has the ball set up. Only goal so far belongs to Kyle Reinhard. He runs around. Left-footed kick is in. Off the hand of Greenfield, and it finds the upper right corner. And Indiana Wesleyan goes up 2-0. So now Usman Gil-Ivern will try and answer for the Foresters and get them on the board. He jogs up to it, takes the shot. That's a goal! Huntington's on the board. They still have a chance. And now it's Indiana Wesleyan's turn as Jackson Carpenter, the freshman from Muskegon, Michigan, will take his shot. 2-1, Wesleyan with the lead. Little jab step, and that one missed. It's off the crossbar as Carpenter went with a little hesitation. But the hesitation may have cost him. It remains 2-1. Noah Stanford will get a shot to tie the game. Aaron Carr awaits it. Jogging his way up to it, and Stanford scores. And this game is tied at 2. Iwu got the first 2 goals. Huntington has answered with the last 2. And I believe that this is Zach Hargreaves who's going to try and give Indiana Wesleyan the lead. Hargreaves runs up, and it's redirected, but it goes in. Gabe Greenfield got his hands on it. It looked like he had saved it, but the ball rolled into the net nonetheless. And it's a 3-2 lead for Indiana Wesleyan. And now here is Keegan Lee from right here in Fort Wayne, a junior midfielder, graduated from Canterbury High School, known for putting good soccer programs on the field. 3-2 in favor of Iwu. Lee with the shot. He scores! And we're tied. Wes Williams will be next in line, a native of Thomasville, Michigan. He's a senior defenseman. And he'll try to give the lead back to the Wildcats. Williams runs up and scores. Iwu leads it 4-3, and Eric Ocock, I believe, will represent the last chance for Huntington, as he tries to knot this one up at 4 apiece. Shot, he scores, and we're tied again. And we keep on going. Tied at 4 here in the penalty kick round. And I think that's Yuto Nakame who's going to take the next kick for Indiana Wesleyan. Nakame will try and give Indiana Wesleyan the lead. Nakame runs up, scores again. 5-4 Wesleyan. Still a chance for Huntington to try and even this up. Pablo Garcia will take the shot. The junior forward from Jerez de la Frontera, Spain. And a transfer from Dodge City Community College. I may be mistaken on this, but I think that's in Kansas. Shot, Garcia, he scores, and we're tied again. Now here comes Wes Williams to take the kick. Williams scores. That's Giuseppe Santa Cruz, who gives the lead to Indiana Wesleyan. They're up 6-5. Another chance for the Foresters. This time it's Zach Collins, the freshman from Spencerville, Indiana. He went to Lakewood Park Christian, and Lakewood Park is in Auburn, Indiana, not too far from here. Collins had what looked like the go-ahead goal with 20.7 seconds left, but the goal was waved off. This for the tie, and it's knocked away by Carr, and that will do it. Indiana Wesleyan beats Huntington 6-5 in the shootout round. A hard-fought game that goes down to penalty kicks. Foresters gave a valiant effort, but they come up short, and the Wildcats win it. What a rivalry this has been this year. These two teams go to overtime in the regular season, end in a tie. They go to penalty kicks in the playoffs, and Wesleyan wins it. And that's going to do it from here at Indiana Tech. Indiana Wesleyan wins it 6-5 in penalty kicks. For my camera operator, Connor Hendrickson, this is Thad Goff saying so long. Again, Indiana Wesleyan wins it 6-5 in penalty kicks. You've been watching Huntington Foresters men's soccer.